People don't trust what you promise. They trust what you repeat. And if you want to build trust quickly as a leader, your patterns will speak louder than your personality. Ready to grow with resilience, clarity, and confidence in leadership, career, and faith? Welcome to The Next Move. I'm Orvin, Kimbrough, CEO, author, and founder of The Thriver's Path. I went from foster care to the CEO seat, and here's what I learned. Transformation doesn't start with a title. It starts with your next move. How you reframe your thinking, reclaim your agency, and rename what's possible. If you're done circling and ready to step forward, you're in the right place. Let's make your next move your best move. Welcome back to The Next Move, the podcast where we explore faith, leadership, and personal growth to help you take your next step with purpose and confidence. Folks, I'm your host, Orvin Kimbrough. So grateful you are here today. I want to talk about a question that matters in every room where leadership is required. How do I build trust quickly? How do I build trust quickly? And I want to talk about it because we are living in a time where people are cautious. People have heard a lot of promises. They have seen leaders say one thing and do another. They have watched organizations announce values they did not always practice. They have experienced disappointment. Come on now. They've experienced disappointment in places where they expected protection, where they expected clarity and consistency. So when you step into leadership, whether you are new to the organization, new to the team, new to the industry, or simply stepping into a new level of responsibility, people may respect your title before they trust your leadership. And that's important to understand. A title can give you authority, but trust gives you influence. A title may get people to attend the meeting. Come on, a title may get people to attend a meeting. Trust determines whether they bring their heart, their honesty, their creativity, and their best thinking into the room. And here is what I have learned over time. People don't trust what you promise. They trust what you repeat. They trust what they can predict. They trust your pattern. They trust your follow through. They trust what you do with small things before they ever hand you big things. Luke 16:10 says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. That scripture has leadership written all over it because trust does not usually begin with the large decision, the public moment, or the crisis response. Trust begins with the email you said you would send, the meeting you said you would hold, the conversation you said you would have, the truth you chose to tell, when silence would have been easier. The emotion you chose to manage when reacting would have felt justified. Did you catch that? The emotion you chose to manage when reacting would have felt justified. Trust starts small, folks, and small is never insignificant. Small is where the pattern is revealed. When I stepped into leadership at Midwest Bank Center, I understood something right away. People were watching me before they were trusting me. They were listening to my words, yes, but they were studying my behavior. They wanted to know, will he tell the truth? Will he follow through? Will he respect the people who were here before him? Will he honor the legacy while still leading us forward? Will he stay steady when things get hard? And I understand that because I've lived enough life to know that trust is not automatic. Growing up in foster care, you learn early to pay attention to patterns. You learn to listen beyond words. You learn to watch what people do after they say they care. Because when you have experienced instability, your spirit becomes sensitive to inconsistency. That's not always a weakness. Sometimes it becomes wisdom. And later, as a leader, that wisdom helped me understand that people are not wrong for needing evidence before they trust. They are human. They are protecting what disappointment once cost them. This is why leaders must not demand trust. We must not demand trust. We must demonstrate trustworthiness. There is a difference. Demanding trust says, believe me because of my position. Demonstrating trustworthiness says, watch my pattern and let my consistency make room for confidence. Folks, that's leadership. That's stewardship. That is maturity. So let me offer a few lessons that have shaped the way I think about building trust quickly, not cheaply, not manipulatively, not through charm, but quickly, because consistency creates speed. First, trust starts with consistency and connect, not connection. Trust starts with consistency, not connection. Now, connection matters. It matters. I believe in relationships. I believe in warmth. I believe in knowing people, hearing people, and seeing the story beneath the behavior. But connection by itself is not enough. It's not enough. Some people are easy to like, but hard to trust. Some people are gifted in conversation, but we can follow through. Some people, come on now, you know who. I mean, who are you thinking about right now? Some people know how to make you feel seen in the moment, but they disappear when the responsibility shows up. So yes, connection may open ears, but consistency opens hearts. People want to know. They want to know, can I count on you? Not just when you are inspired, not just when you are inspired, not just when things are going well, not just when the room is easy. Can I count on you when there is pressure? Can I count on you when the answer is complicated? Can I count on you when telling the truth may cost you something? This is where leadership becomes spiritual formation, because consistency is not just a leadership behavior. It is the fruit of an anchored life. When your identity is grounded, you don't have to perform stability. You can practice it, and people can feel the difference. Second, trust grows when you tell the truth early and often. One of the mistakes leaders make is thinking that honesty will slow people down. But I found the opposite to be true. Truth creates safety, and safety creates speed. And when people know, you will tell them what you know, what you do not know, and what you are still learning. Folks, they relax differently. They may not like every answer. They may not agree with every decision. But they know you are not hiding the ball. There were moments in my leadership journey where I had to say, here's what I know. Here is what I don't know yet. Here is what I'm working to understand. Here is what I need from you. That kind of honesty can feel vulnerable, especially when people expect leaders to have every answer. But leadership is not pretending to know everything. Leadership is creating enough clarity for people to keep moving while the full picture is still forming. And for those of us who are people of faith, this matters. This matters because truth is not just a communication strategy. Truth is a spiritual discipline. When you tell the truth with humility, you are not weakening your leadership. You are strengthening the foundation people are standing on. Third, trust expands. Trust expands when you follow through on small things. This may sound simple, but it's one of the most overlooked parts of leadership. People notice the small things. They notice whether you start on time. They notice whether you circle back. They notice whether you remember what mattered to them. They notice whether your yes means yes. They notice whether your apology leads to change. And most leaders don't lose trust because of one dramatic failure. They lose it through repeated small inconsistencies. A missed follow-up here, a vague answer there, a commitment made too quickly, a correction never owned, a concern never revisited. Over time, those small gaps become a story. And people begin to say, maybe they begin to say, and maybe it's not out loud, but internally, I don't know. I don't know if I can depend on this leader. This is why I say leadership is often the quiet art of keeping small promises with large consequences. Small promises build large credibility. Small acts of integrity create deeper reservoirs of trust. And the beautiful thing is this: you don't need decades to begin building trust. You need disciplined integrity. You need to do the next right thing and then do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again. That is the thriver's path in practice, not transformation as a slogan, transformation as a pattern. Fourth, your steadiness is your credibility. People watch how leaders carry weight. They watch how you respond when challenged. They watch how you handle ambiguity. They watch how you speak about people who are not in the room. They watch whether pressure makes you smaller, harsher, evasive, or more self-protective. And let me say this plainly. People struggle to trust leaders who cannot carry their own emotions. That does not mean leaders cannot feel deeply. I feel deeply. I have carried pressure. I have had moments of uncertainty. I've had seasons where I was praying my way through decisions I could not fully explain yet. But steadiness is not the absence of emotion. Steadiness is the discipline of not letting emotion lead in the wrong direction. It is the ability to be honest without being reckless, firm without being cruel, transparent without being chaotic, vulnerable without making your team carry what belongs to you. That kind of steadiness builds trust because people begin to believe this leader may not control everything, but they are anchored. And anchored leaders help others breathe. Now, here's the reframe: trust is not a feeling, trust is a pattern. We often think people either trust us or they don't. But trust is being formed all the time. Every conversation is forming it. Every decision is forming it. Every silence is forming it. Every follow through is forming it. So the question is not, do people trust me yet? The better question is, what pattern am I giving them to trust? Here's the reclaim. You don't need decades to build trust. You need discipline, integrity. You cannot control every perception. You cannot control what people experienced before you arrived. You cannot control the skepticism they carry from other leaders, other workplaces, or other disappointments. But you can control your pattern. You can tell the truth. You can follow through. You can stay steady. You can honor small things. You can apologize when you miss it. You can make your leadership predictable in the best sense of the word. And here's the rename. You're not just building trust, you are establishing reliability. That is a powerful, powerful, powerful shift because reliability is trust with evidence. Reliability says you have been seen enough. You have been seen enough. You have seen enough of my pattern to know how I will show up. You have seen enough of my pattern to know how I will show up. Not perfectly, but consistently. Not flawlessly, but honestly. Not with hype, but with integrity. And that is what people are looking for. They're not looking for leaders who make the biggest promises. They are looking for leaders whose lives make promises believable. As you think about your next move, I want you to sit with this question. What simple behavior, what simple behavior done consistently would increase your credibility this week? Maybe it's following up when you said you would. Maybe it's telling the truth sooner. Maybe it is being clearer in meetings. Maybe it is apologizing without explaining it away. Maybe it is showing up prepared. Maybe it is slowing down enough to listen. Maybe it is choosing steadiness over defensiveness. Don't underestimate the small things. Luke 16:10 reminds us that the small thing is often where God reveals readiness for the larger thing. The little thing is not little. The small promises is not small. The repeated pattern is not invisible. That may be the very place where trust begins. As you go forward this week, do not chase trust through performance. Don't chase it through performance. Practice trustworthiness through consistency. Let your yes be dependable. Let your words be clear. Let your presence be steady. Let your pattern preach before your platform ever does. Because people may hear what you promise, but they will trust what you repeat. Until next time, stay steady, stay consistent, and keep taking your next move. Thanks for spending time with me on The Next Move. I hope today's reflection helped you see your situation differently and reminded you that you're not stuck, you're being strengthened. If this episode resonated, share it with someone who's standing at the edge of their next move. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's ahead. For deeper reflections, tools, and guided pathways for growth, visit orvinkimbrough.com and explore the Thriver's Path. Until next time, remember, every small step taken with intention moves you closer to the life and leadership you're becoming. Let's keep moving forward together.